Welcome to Farming Aid.
Across Europe, hidden in quiet valleys and wind-swept islands, some of the continent's oldest and toughest cattle breeds are making a surprising return. For decades, modern farming pushed them aside in favor of faster-growing, commercial breeds, but now the tide is turning. Farmers, chefs, and beef lovers are rediscovering these forgotten herds for their rich flavor, resilience, and sustainable nature. In this video, we're diving into European secret beef machines, 3 underrated heritage cattle breeds making a comeback. You'll discover the incredible stories of cattle once thought to be fading into history, now roaring back as symbols of quality, tradition, and environmental harmony. If you've ever wondered where Europe's finest, most authentic beef really comes from, this is the story you don't want to miss. One of the most remarkable returns comes from the Luing cattle of Scotland. Born on a rugged island off Scotland's west coast, the Luing is a testament to selective breeding grounded in practicality rather than prestige. Developed in the mid-20th century by the Cadzow brothers, this breed was created by crossing the hardy Highland cow with the productive beef shorthorn. The goal was simple: to produce a beef animal that could thrive on sparse pastures, endure wet, windy winters, and still deliver top-quality meat without costly inputs. For decades, the Luing quietly served small island farms, never achieving the fame of Angus or Hereford. But today, its reputation is spreading beyond the Hebrides as regenerative farmers and grass-fed beef producers seek cattle that can deliver flavor, efficiency, and low-maintenance profits. Luing cattle are medium-sized, with a deep red coat and an unmistakably sturdy frame. Their strength lies in their adaptability and their maternal instincts. Cows calve easily, raise their young with minimal human help, and thrive on grass alone, qualities increasingly valued in modern sustainable systems. Their beef is well marbled but not excessive, offering a balance of tenderness and rich, natural flavor that chefs describe as true beef taste. In an era when efficiency often clashes with environmental responsibility, the Luing is showing how old-fashioned breeding wisdom can lead to new-age sustainability. More producers across Britain, Ireland, and even parts of Northern Europe are turning to the breed, finding it an ideal choice for low-input grazing systems. Its comeback symbolizes a shift toward farming that works with nature, not against it. Meanwhile, across the English Channel, the Blonde d'Aquitaine from France is proving itself a hidden gem of Europe's beef world. While breeds like Charolais and Limousin dominate export markets, the Blonde d'Aquitaine has quietly maintained its lineage of power and refinement. Originating from the Aquitaine region in southwestern France, it is one of the continent's oldest and most sculpted breeds. The Blonde's story began long before the industrial age. Shaped by centuries of selective breeding among 3 regional types, the Guaranas, Quercy, and Blonde de Pyrenees. Farmers sought an animal that was strong enough to plow the fields yet light-footed and gentle enough to handle in small mixed farms. The result was a breed that combined beauty, strength, and balance. Today, the Blonde d'Aquitaine is increasingly appreciated for its high meat yield and lean carcasses, a contrast to heavily marbled breeds. But what makes it stand out is not just its muscle, it's the texture and taste. The meat is tender yet firm, with a fine grain and low-fat content that appeals to modern health-conscious eaters. The Blonde's golden coat and elegant build have made it a visual favorite at agricultural shows, but its practicality is what's driving its resurgence. Farmers value its calm temperament, easy calving, and ability to convert forage into lean beef efficiently. These traits make it ideal for both traditional pastures and more intensive systems, giving it a versatile edge in a changing agricultural climate. In the 1980s and 1990s, the breed's popularity waned as global trade favored breeds that matured faster under grain-heavy diets. Yet the tide is turning. Grass-fed beef markets are expanding, and chefs are hunting for distinctive European flavors beyond the predictable. The Blonde d'Aquitaine's beef, with its buttery tenderness and subtle mineral notes, fits perfectly into this niche. Its growing presence in Britain, Spain, and even parts of Eastern Europe shows that farmers are once again recognizing its blend of elegance and endurance. In many ways, the blonde d'Aquitaine represents the future of European beef, a breed rooted in history but perfectly aligned with modern consumer expectations. Further east, in the mountainous heart of Austria, another heritage treasure is reclaiming its place on the map, the Pinzgauer cattle. Named after the Pinzgau region near Salzburg, this breed is one of Europe's oldest, with roots tracing back more than 1,000 years. The Pinzgauer is instantly recognizable by its striking coloration, a deep chestnut body with a broad white stripe running along its back and belly, extending to the tail. This bold pattern, combined with its robust frame, reflects its dual-purpose origins. Historically, the Pinzgauer was valued not only for its flavorful beef but also for its milk and draft strength. Families depended on them as all-around farm helpers, capable of plowing fields by day and providing milk and meat by season's end. However, as industrial farming expanded in the 20th century, specialized dairy and beef breeds took over, and the Pinzgauer's numbers dwindled dramatically. It nearly disappeared, surviving mainly in isolated alpine valleys. But thanks to heritage conservationists and local farmers, the breed is now experiencing a steady revival. What makes the Pinzgauer exceptional is its efficiency in rugged, grass-based systems. These cattle are natural grazers, perfectly adapted to steep slopes and variable climates. They thrive on native forage, needing little supplemental feed, and their strong hooves and sure-footedness make them ideal for mountainous regions. From a beef perspective, the Pinzgauer produces meat that is deeply colored, finely marbled, and rich in flavor. Unlike some high-yield modern breeds, its meat maintains a balance between leanness and succulence that appeals to artisanal butchers and chefs. In blind tastings, it often surprises tasters with its old-fashioned, farmhouse flavor, a reminder of what beef used to taste like before industrialization. In Austria and neighboring Germany, renewed interest in local food and regenerative farming has made the Pinzgauer a symbol of agricultural pride. Small-scale producers are marketing its beef directly to consumers, emphasizing traceability and heritage. This growing niche market is breathing life back into the breed, ensuring that the distinctive red and white cattle of Pinzgau continue to roam Europe's hillsides. What unites these three breeds, the Luing, the blonde d'Aquitaine, and the Pinzgauer, is their quiet defiance of modern industrial logic. Each one emerged from a deep understanding of local environments, shaped by farmers who bred for resilience, not just yield. They are living archives of agricultural knowledge, holding genetic traits that modern systems often overlook: fertility, longevity, maternal instincts, and efficient grass conversion. In an era when feed prices, climate change, and consumer awareness are redefining what profitable farming looks like, these breeds are proving their worth once again. The renewed fascination with heritage cattle isn't just nostalgia, it's a practical movement grounded in sustainability. Modern farmers are recognizing that the industrial model, which depends heavily on imported feed, medication, and machinery, is not always the most stable or ethical. Heritage breeds offer an alternative: animals that can live off the land, resist disease, and reproduce naturally without heavy human intervention. This shift is particularly visible in Northern Europe, where regenerative grazing and carbon farming practices are gaining ground. The Luing, with its low input efficiency, fits seamlessly into these systems, while the Pinzgauer thrives in marginal areas where modern breeds struggle. The blonde d'Aquitaine, though more refined, aligns with the demand for quality over quantity, catering to a market that values texture and provenance over mere volume. Beyond farming economics, these breeds are finding renewed cultural significance. In Scotland, the Luing is celebrated as a symbol of island ingenuity, a living reminder that the best innovations often come from working with nature's limits. In France, the blonde d'Aquitaine carries the legacy of centuries of craftsmanship, linking modern farmers with ancestral traditions. And in Austria, the Pinzgauer represents resilience, a bridge between past and present that ties communities to their land. These emotional connections matter. Consumers increasingly want to know where their food comes from and what story it tells. Heritage cattle bring authenticity to the plate, offering beef with a sense of place and history that no generic breed can match. Chefs across Europe are responding to this movement as well. Farm-to-table restaurants, artisanal butchers, and gourmet suppliers are turning to heritage beef for its character and story. The Luing's deep-flavored steaks, the Blonde's delicate tenderness, and the Pinzgauer's rich aroma are redefining the meaning of premium beef. In a world oversaturated with uniform meat products, these breeds deliver individuality. Each one reflects its environment, the mineral-rich grasses, the cool air, the centuries of adaptation. The result is beef that not only tastes better but feels more honest. There's also a growing recognition of the genetic importance of these heritage lines. As modern breeds become increasingly homogeneous due to selective breeding for growth and carcass traits, the genetic diversity of older breeds becomes a safeguard for the future. Traits like disease resistance, fertility, and climatic tolerance are invaluable as the global environment changes. The Luing's ability to thrive in cold, wet conditions, the Pinzgauer's efficiency on steep alpine terrain, and the Blonde's balance of muscle and gentleness are all examples of traits that could be vital in future breeding programs. Preservation, therefore, isn't just sentimental, it's strategic. Interestingly, these revivals are often led by younger farmers, many of whom are disillusioned with industrial agriculture. They're seeking breeds that fit smaller, more diversified systems and allow them to operate profitably without relying on heavy infrastructure. Heritage cattle offer a viable path forward, manageable herds, lower input costs, and premium quality beef that commands higher market value. In this sense, these breeds represent a bridge between tradition and modern innovation, a sustainable blueprint for the future of beef production. As this movement gains traction, awareness is spreading far beyond Europe. International buyers, conservation groups, and chefs from across the Atlantic are beginning to take notice. Export demand for genetics from these breeds is increasing, especially for crossbreeding programs that aim to improve hardiness and flavor in other regions. The Luing's calm temperament and efficiency have caught the attention of Canadian ranchers. The Blonde d'Aquitaine's carcass qualities are prized in Australia and Brazil, and the Pinzgauer's dual-purpose nature has inspired interest in South American highland farms. These secret beef machines, once confined to local valleys and islands, are slowly gaining global relevance again. The resurgence of these underrated heritage cattle also highlights the changing narrative of success in livestock farming. For much of the 20th century, bigger was better, heavier carcasses, faster growth, and larger herds. But the 21st century tells a different story. Success is now measured in balance, between productivity and ecology, between output and ethics. The Luing, Blonde d'Aquitaine, and Pinzgauer each embody that balance in their own way. They're not about dominating the feedlot but about thriving on the land. They remind us that cattle are not machines but living systems that reflect their environment and care. For the modern farmer looking beyond the hype, these breeds offer an opportunity to stand apart. Their comeback isn't driven by marketing gimmicks but by genuine performance under real-world conditions. They don't need endless grain or expensive housing, they just need good grass and steady management. And what they give back, nutrient-rich beef, healthy calves, and long-lasting cows, is often more valuable than what industrial systems deliver. They turn marginal land into quality food, preserving biodiversity and local heritage along the way. It's easy to see why these cattle are making waves again. The world of beef is evolving, and consumers are asking more meaningful questions. They want meat that connects them to a place, to craftsmanship, and to authenticity. The Luing whispers stories of Scottish islands buffeted by sea winds. The Blonde d'Aquitaine brings the sunshine and elegance of southern France to the table. The Pinzgauer carries the spirit of alpine valleys where families still work the same pastures their ancestors did. These stories make eating an experience, not just a habit. These heritage cattle aren't just echoes of Europe's past, they're shaping the future of sustainable beef. The Luing, Blonde d'Aquitaine, and Pinzgauer are living proof that real quality comes from balance, endurance, and respect for the land. As modern farmers and consumers search for authenticity, these breeds are showing that tradition and progress can go hand in hand. Their comeback isn't just about saving rare genetics, it's about reviving flavor, resilience, and pride in farming. If you enjoyed learning about these incredible cattle, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more stories about unique and powerful farm breeds, and drop a comment below to tell us which heritage breed impressed you most. Your support helps keep these forgotten herds, and their amazing stories, alive.